purpose of this demo is to show the new display features of Open Pleth. Before we get started, there's a couple of messages that will pop up on this demo version that once we get purchase the libraries for this, we won't get anymore. But because this is a demo version, I want to make sure that everyone's happy with the displays. I decided not to purchase them yet. This is the first info block that you get, and this is the second one. Right now I don't have a hardware attached because I just want to go over the displays. Okay, start out with opening up a file. We have a new file format called Open Pleth file, OPFs. We still support AMI files. The differences will be that the Open Pleth file will probably have better storage of breaths, will be true raw files, and have some additional features that have been requested. So, first thing we want to do is load up a file, and as you can see, we now have separate windows for our various graphs. I got some requests for being able to display certain features, certain graphs together, and the only way to do that was to separate these windows out. Now, one of the nice new features that we have is that Open Pleth will now save the position of your last graphs. So if you reload it again, which I guess we can do here, we can see that my last positions were saved. This is helpful, I think, in once you get the graphs where you want them to be. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not helpful. But anyway, I'll reload this guy back up and we'll show. Buddy, wait. Alright. Some things you might notice is that I now have support less than 0 negative values of delta flow. There was a request for having an absolute value displayed, and I'm not really clear on how to do that other than maybe toggling a graph, maybe on the toolbar or something like that. We have that ability. I want everybody to know that this is by no means the final version. This is just a demo of how the windows are, and to give people an idea of how things work. This isn't cast in stone. If somebody doesn't like it, we can make changes to it. But one of the things that I had an issue with is how to turn off and on, the best way to turn off and on these windows. And the best thing I could come up at the time is to use something off of the main window, turning them on and off this way and clicking them. I thought maybe that would be the most straightforward way. One of the libraries that I'm using right now in this trial version is a new string grid array, which gives me the ability to colorize individual rows or cells, whatever I want to do. And I thought this would be useful. This particular format is alternating colors. I think it's easier to see doing this. But in addition, I've added, just as the demo purposes, I've hard-coded this one to be yellow and this one to be red, only to show you a way that we can indicate whether or not, let's say that we deleted this breath from analysis and that this was one of many breaths that was being used for analysis. I thought that would be a good idea that we could indicate those on that way. As usual, this would reflect a breath that we've taken. Notice that we also have a row highlighted now, which is another nice feature of this particular grid array. Another thing that I like is the ability to, by holding the shift button down, we can highlight all of these. And let's say, for example, we wanted to delete them all, or we wanted to do some sort of sum or statistical information on those graphs, we could do that. Maybe we would have a toolbar or a right click or something like that to do that with. In addition, we can do non-continuous selections by holding the control button down and pressing. That seems to this would be good for like deleting breaths, whatever, whatever selections, they don't have to be linear selections. And of course, as before, we have reflection in the graphs of whatever we click on the breath. Now, if that's not desired, I know in some cases it's desired, I'm not sure if it's not desired all the time, then we need to come up with some sort of mechanism to decouple the breaths from the display in these other forms. Maybe some sort of flag or something, but any ideas on how to do that I would greatly appreciate. In addition, some things I added to the graphics display is I added this new little thumbs push, I don't know what they're called, push things, but I found it very useful to go exactly. It's a little bit better than a scroll bar. I guess it's one of the new components that's on trial right now, added on a trial. So if you guys like it, we'll use it. If not, we'll try something else. Another thing I added that I thought was useful was the reflecting of the markers everywhere on all three graphs. One of the things I was thinking that would be a nice thing to have, and I'm not sure what people think, is I was trying to think of what would be the best way to mark off areas of breaths that are not do not want to be included in the end file or in the analysis. Like, say for example, this part here looks like that horse had some movement or something, so it would be nice to be able to, maybe we could just set markers there and then have some sort of button that says, remove these breaths from the analysis. Also, at the same time, we could also come down into this area and do the same thing. Maybe locate those breaths, or we could, click here and say find the breath that it's at. We could go to that breath. There's a lot of features like that people need to think about. Get back to me on it and see whether they like the idea or not. What I also doing here, and it's not completed yet, is that since each and every individual has their own toolbar, I was thinking that we'd have separate prints for each one, we have separate copies for each form. They'd all be kind of orthogonal as far as their operations as much as possible. Obviously, we're not going to get a zoom all or something in a histamine dose response, but I see I made a mistake over here. I'll clean that up to 75 is off the chart. So I guess that makes sense since it's over here. So okay, I guess that would operate. Maybe I should bring these displays closer to the middle or something. I'll look into that. So anyway, I think we still have a long ways to go on this project, but I wanted to get a demo of the display out, so if I'm going in the wrong direction, that people can say, no, this is the wrong way, I don't like it this way, and we can change gears and go to a way that everybody would be agreeing to. So anyway, so I will close this, and I will close this this video.